Um, Hi everyone. Thank you for joining our demo today, and we'll walk you through the progress we made in this week too. And Ashok will continue.
Okay, so this is the login page that we worked on last week. Now we have added an additional functionality to this, the forgot password section. Once you click on it, you will be redirected to the reset password page. Here you can enter your login credentials, login email ID, and send the reset code. Once you click that, you will be sent a verification code from the backend using Cognito. Once you have your code, you'll be able to enter that here and reset your password. And once that is done, you can go back to your login page and as you can see, this is the verification code, and we're setting the password now. And once we have the reset password, we can use those credentials immediately to log into the portal.
So now, after logging in, we have landed on the student dashboard. So for this one, when you see on the left hand side, that is a global navigation menu where the user can either access their profile settings or any notification preferences and other custom settings which they can customize. And they can also add a profile picture for themselves. This is not currently functional. We'll be working on it again during the next sprint. And now the middle layout, when you look at it, you can see three sections, which is pending tasks, current location, and additional details. The pending tasks is for the check-in related details, like when a faculty specifically raises a request for a check-in, a student will be able to see that pending request there. So at the same time, that request can be seen on the right hand side under the request section. The right hand side section is for the purpose that if the user is on any other um, section like profile or notification preferences, though they are on a different page, they can still be viewing the requests and the messages would be like if a faculty member requires any specific details apart from the details that has been provided by the student, he can mention it to the student, and the student can respond back to it. For the current location section, we have added two features to it. One is the location coordinates, which is longitudes and latitude. That can be like you can copy it and you can directly paste it on Google, and your location will be appearing. Or there is another option called Open in Google Maps, which would take the same coordinates and directly redirect you to the Google Maps section. Can you go back? Yeah. Uh, so since this location coordinates is can be used, but the faculty cannot view where exactly the student is, like if the student is in a restaurant or the hotel itself. So that is the purpose we have added another section called additional details. In this section, when we click on update details, so you will be able to change whatever details you can see here with whom, like since our uh, requirement is to not send a student alone. They have to be with other students as well, at least two other students, so that we can ensure safety. And at the same time, like I told you, the location coordinates alone are insufficient, so you can just go ahead and click on the current place and update your location. Yeah, so this is the latest one. Now, next we'll move on to the lambda function for the accessibility.
So the login page Lambda function is written in Python, and it uses Boto 3 library to interact with AWS services. So first, we set up the environment by extracting necessary configurations like the pool ID, client ID, and client secret from the environment variables for security. So there are several functions designed for specific tasks. So to calculate secret hash that generates a secured hash, combining the username and client secret to validate requests, and check user exist and get user role interact with Cognito to manage the user data.
The Lambda handler function is the entry point of our application triggered by AWS Lambda. It handles different actions such as checking user existence and processing login requests. It manages core settings to ensure our web application can securely interact with this backend service. For logging in, the the code checks if the user exists, validates the provided password, and uses Cognito's initiate auth method to authenticate the user. Successfully authentication returns security tokens and user roles, essential for session management and access control in our application. We are using various exceptions like incorrect password input or confirmed unconfirmed accounts, ensuring the user receives clear and precise feedback about the login process. Now Shashir will continue.
Okay, so the functionality that I have been working on uh, was, so can you first show them the users so that they'll get an idea? Yeah, so here you can see there's an email address saying ramaraju.mupala, which is already existing. So the functionality that I have been working on is that if a user ID, email ID already exists, we don't allow them to log in again or sign up again with the same user email ID. So if you go to the sign up page, if you try signing up with the same email ID, it won't let you sign up. It'll give you a pop-up saying email ID already exists. So yeah, you got a pop-up saying email already exists. And can we show them the verification? So, and the other functionality that I worked on was, for example, let's say you want to create a new account, you get a email verification saying you have a code to verify your email. So now we are using a different email to sign up. So we get an email. Can you show them the email? I think it is your personal email, bro. So here you can see he has got a verification code. Using that, you can sign up. Yeah. Now, if you go to the users and check, there's another user added in the user pool. You can see there's a new email ID and the user has been added. And it also has been confirmed using the verification. Coming to the back end of this, if we go to see the Lambda functions, create user, yeah. Yeah, here you can see the function named check email exists, and this function is being called below. If you go down, you can see it here, and from here onwards, Ram will take over.
Yeah. So from the backend perspective, how we have split this functionality is, first we are checking if an email already exists, and so we have defined the function for that over here. And if the user action from front end is sign up, basically when a user clicks on create account button, what it does is it just calls the function we defined at the top and verifies if the email exists or not. If it exists, it throws an error that you can't sign up with a duplicate email. If it doesn't, you will sign up and all the verification flow that you just seen will start triggered. Okay. And here onwards, we've split it into two parts. Basically, before the verification, API calls this Lambda function, and you create the user account in Cognito. And after verification, the action changes to confirm. And upon successful verification, user is added to Cognito group and also added to DynamoDB. You can see that here, if action is confirmed, add user to Cognito group, and then add user to DynamoDB. So this is a sign up functions backend. And apart from this, we have also implemented some edge cases like reset password, which Ashok has talked about just now. And additionally, we've set up CI/CD pipeline and hosted this whole static pages in S3 bucket. We'll show that now. So this is our S3 bucket endpoint. So this is the entry point of the application. We can go to login screen and sign up screens here. I'll show the login screen first. Basically, you log in and you just get redirected to your specific dashboard. Depends on your role. Looks like incorrect password. I'll reset it now. So since this particular user was a student, this is the student dashboard he landed on. So going forward, we need to work on the same user workflow for admin and faculty users. You can see the user here. So this was the user ID I just used. And if I go to groups, go to student group, I can see this particular user as a student here. So that's the whole application workflow hosted in S3 bucket right now. And apart from that, we have CI/CD setup. So what we did was we set up a simple YAML file. Yeah, simple YAML file using this Javis library to commit our code from S3 bucket. Commit our code from GitHub to the S3 bucket. So all our static pages are hosted in public folder. So this is the source directory. Any new change that is committed here in public folder will reflect in our S3 bucket. This will be it for our sprint demo now, and we'll work on our additional features from the next sprints onwards. Thanks, everyone.